What is good, YouTube? Today we're doing a movie review, and before we get into that, if you have any movies you'd like to comment them down below. It could be any movie, honestly, it don't really matter. But the movie we're reviewing today, and it's a good one for 2024, a good way to start off, is Wonka. 2023, yes, I understand from last year, but this is a great way to start off. So let's get into it. Let me just start off by saying this. I am a huge, and I mean a huge fan of the original movie. Yes, I wasn't born when the original came out, but when I saw it, man, I loved it so much. And I haven't seen the 2005 version of it with Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka, but the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Peter, dude, it is so good. And again, this is the original, like this is the origin story of Willy Wonka, and this I think is like I think this is 25 years before the original one came out, because I think the original one is like 1971, so this would be like 1950, 1940. So just let that be known, this is basically the original. But basically this follows a young Willy Wonka who was played by Timothy Chalamet. Sorry if I don't say his name right, but he is a great actor. I do like some of his work. I don't know everything he's in. Like I do know he's in Dune, I think. And dude, in this movie, he does a terrific job. And I'll get into him later when we get into the goods. But basically, this follows a young Willy Wonka moving. I never remember exactly where he said. I think it was New York or England, one of those. Trying to start his franchise of being the best chocolatier. You know, starting his own shop, getting his own factory, and it's kind of all it follows. You know, it's just him and his origin story. This will be a spoiler for review, and a few things to be noted before we get into this. This movie is 2 hours long. And there's also a musical, which is weird because they didn't really mention that. And again, sometimes in the trailers you can see, you know, like that it's a musical, but yeah, but I'll get into that later on. And there is also some unique credits, but there is no end credit scene. But now let's get into the goods, bad, and the neutrals. Now let's get into the goods, and starting with the goods, dude, Timothy. His performance with Willy Wonka was magical, dude. It was amazing. He was so animated, dude. Like I think is my second favorite. Well, I mean, I've only seen two, but this dude is just an amazing Willy Wonka. Like honestly, I couldn't have seen anyone else playing this role, and I'm happy that he's the main character, obviously, because this is a Willy Wonka movie, and his performance in this movie is stellar. Like it is amazing, dude, how good he was in this movie. And then went off into that, his supporting cast, dude, was amazing. Surprising how many good actors he got into this, and they were just amazing as well. Like I think supporting actor was just terrific in this movie. Like every actor did amazing. Like you just say like some actors did like, you know, good or bad, you know, but like every actor in this, to me, did their part, you know. They actually play their character. It was amazing. And also it's amazing, their visuals too, dude. Yeah, some of the CGI wasn't the best, but you know, I let it pass because the visuals, the setting, the environment was amazing. The visuals were great, dude. Like the environment was so whimsical, dude, and they like put that to 11 with the whimsicalness. Like yeah, some things are grounded, but like some things are just whimsical and wacky out of this. And also the story also was very dude, was also really interesting. I'll get to the story also later. Like this might be a little conflicting thing I might say later on, but the story was also really interesting. Like I was really invested into it. Oompa Loompas, I love them. Their size might have not like threw me off a little bit, but they're still amazing. I love Oompa Loompas. Those were the goods, but now let's get into the bads. Now getting into the bads, there isn't really that many. There's like a few minor ones. The one that's big, at least for me, and that is literally that it's a musical. I'm not a huge fan of the musical. I was so thrown off when this was a musical. I did not expect it. And again, that's just a problem on my part. I should look more into it. But I'm just not a fan of musicals. And that didn't kill this movie for me. I'm not going to give it a bad rating because I'm not a fan of musicals. But there's that part wasn't really it for me. And also the fact that it wasn't advertised as one, even though I'm pretty sure in the trailers it literally looks like a musical. But the other small ones I say are the transitions. It was weird, dude. They had like Looney Tune transitions where it's like literally like the Porky the Pig moment where it's like that's all folks, and it's like the circle of the screen gets smaller into like bigger, I guess you can say. Like that transition to me is weird. I don't know, I feel like they maybe didn't have one and that was it. And another small one when like a character has an idea and the person asks what is, and they say they don't have enough time, and like they wait to show you. It's like, I don't know, that makes me really mad for the fact that it's like they most likely have enough time to just say something like 50 seconds, like, oh, my plan is we're gonna escape and like we're just gonna do this. Like I'm pretty sure it's not that hard. That's a small thing. That's a little pet peeve of mine. I hate when characters do this. I think they only do it once in this movie, but man, it's just a huge pet peeve for me. Like it is just a thing that I do not like a lot. But now those are the bads. Now let's get into the neutrals. Okay, getting into the neutrals again, these are like two little things. I mean, again, like neutrals, they don't hurt or make the good movie better or worse. But I have to say the runtime. A little bit of the runtime you can notice, like maybe halfway, just like, wow, this movie is really 2 hours long. Like First half, you don't notice it. Second half, you kind of do. The third half, you kind of forget. It's like, oh, it's 2 hours long. And then the other neutral I would have to say is the story. Again, it's not a bad story. It's a good story. It tells a good plot. Like it's just an amazing, but it's very predictable. Like, you know, this is gonna happen when that's gonna happen, or like, oh, it's high lifting note right now, so that means something bad must happen. It's like, it's a little bit predictable. I'm not saying it's a bad story though. I still enjoyed the story. It's still very investing. Like, I was really invested watching it. Just it's a simple story, you know. It's an origin story. Nothing wrong with that. That's why it's in the neutrals. But now let's get into the rating. Okay, now getting into the ratings, I will have to say this. This movie was a joy to watch. I had a fun time watching this. I can't even lie. With the amazing visuals and the storytelling and the characters that it had, like the world building, it was just a really enjoyable movie. Yes, there is some flaws with this. Like, in my eyes, at least there's some flaws. And like, I say the only huge impact one that there is, I say like that's really big is just the musical part. Again, I'm not a fan of musicals, but again, I'm not going to hinder the rating because of it's a musical. And for that reason, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I do think it is worth a watch, and no, I would highly recommend if you do have Amazon or like Amazon Prime to watch this. And if it's on any other streaming service, give this a watch. Honestly, it's worth the time. Yes, it's 2 hours long, but if you're a fan of musicals or just a fan of Willy Wonka in general, this is definitely worth the watch. That will be it for this movie review. I hope you enjoyed it, and comment down below what was your favorite part about the movie or favorite scene without spoiling it. You know, don't spoil it. Come on, don't spoil it. If you would like to see any other movies reviewed, comment them down below. But have a wonderful day. Bye.